up on the screen in just a minute so you can see and read for yourself exactly what this article here is saying. We'll pull out the key details as well as why this group of Democratic lawmakers is having a cow about this situation, because they feel like this is unfair, as Social Security is using this communication and official messaging out of SSA to basically target seniors and push political messaging. Now, drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you, which, by the way, quick side note, I'm not trying to make this a political video whatsoever. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the beast of what I talk about here, sometimes it does get a little bit political, but as I've always said, I'm here to support you. At the end of the day, I don't really give a rip which side of the aisle you're on. It does not matter to me. I'm here to support you as fixed income beneficiaries, people with disabilities, seniors, anybody receiving benefits from Social Security. I'm here to support you. That's what these videos are all about. It's not to get political or to influence anybody politically. That's not my style. I honestly don't care. I'm here for you. That's all that truly matters. And I try to be as neutral as I possibly can in these videos. But I'd love to hear from you down below. Do you feel like this is a little shady out of Social Security with what they're doing, sending out this message back at the very beginning of July? So, here we are as I film this video, the very end of July right now, 2026. But they sent this message out again, at the beginning of this month, and it's, again, catching a lot of people off guard. And they also highlighted $7,500 of additional financial benefit for the average senior. Does that catch anybody's attention? Certainly does, especially during a year like right now when people are out there struggling financially and think, wait, Social Security is talking about $7,500 of extra financial benefit? Amazing. What do I need to do to get this? Well, it is actually something that's out there, which, by the way, that $7,500 figure comes out of some messaging out of the Treasury as well. So we'll talk about all that. Now, again, drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right, let's pop this article up here now. Feel free to read the details on this. Let me explain exactly what's going on. All right, so let's just take a little step back for a second. This comes back to the email that was sent out at the beginning of July based on some messaging out of the Treasury, which indicated 35 million seniors at that point had taken advantage of the additional $6,000 deduction that was signed into law by the president within the OBBB, that large tax cut bill, which was signed into law on the 4th of July last year, 2025. Now, this email was sent out back on July 2nd, so just before the 1-year anniversary of that bill being signed into law. And basically the Treasury was saying, hey, we've indicated 35 million seniors 65 and over have taken advantage of that additional $6,000 deduction per person because of that tax cut bill. Now, obviously, according to that messaging out of the Treasury, they were indicating that the average senior benefited by $7,500 as a result of that. Now, I want to make it very, very, very clear here in this video right here, right now. They are not talking about a $7,500 check. That's not what they're talking about. That is not what that is, okay? I'm sure I'll see comments down below saying, but you said $7,500 check was coming. No, I didn't. I did not say that. I'm making it very clear right now. That's not what they're talking about. They're saying $7,500 worth of financial benefit based on this $6,000 deduction. And again, other senior deductions that are available. Obviously, that's just one of them, but there are other deductions that are available. And again, this would show up on someone's federal tax return. But anyway, as you can see there in the article that I shared with you, okay? Basically a group of Democratic lawmakers, okay, led by Elizabeth Warren. Have you ever noticed a lot of this stuff is always led by Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders, these people like this? Have you ever noticed that? I certainly have, okay? It's kind of interesting how that works. But anyway, Elizabeth Warren, along with some of her buddies out of the Senate, have come forward and basically sent out this letter demanding answers out of SSA, as in the acting commissioner, Frank Bisignano, saying, this seems a little bit suspicious. It seems that we are using, as in SSA, the commissioner, using the email addresses and communication methods out of Social Security to essentially target seniors and basically push partisan messaging or political messaging. Now, they want to get further answers on this, and obviously the acting commissioner, Frank Bisignano, as well as the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, these individuals would obviously, basically strike down, or however you want to say that, deny essentially any claims out of these Democratic lawmakers that are making these claims that it's political messaging. Obviously, they're going to come forward and be like, "What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with politics. We're just stating the facts." Which, if it is actually fact, and if seniors really are getting this much of financial benefit, $7,500, it's kind of like a fine line. Okay, fine. Does it highlight the OBBB in this email? Sure does, all right? It sure does talk about that tax legislation that was signed into law by the president a year ago. Does it also state some facts that maybe seniors are getting, thousands of dollars worth of financial benefit because of that? That's probably also fact. But the big question is this: ethically speaking, should that have been included in a message from Social Security out to seniors? That's the big ethics question that a lot of people are asking right now, is should Social Security be sending these messages like this, indicating all of these details? Again, I'm going to let you decide on that. That's not for me to decide here. I'm just giving you the details and the facts behind what is being pushed out. And I'm going to let you decide whether you feel like, that's a little shady, that's a little sketchy, and they shouldn't have done that. Or are you thinking, yeah, it's fine. It's totally ethical, totally fine with that. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to think or what to believe. I'm just saying these are the details that are out there. This is what happened. And obviously, it's rubbing some people the wrong way. Obviously, senators here, these Democratic senators. And again, not saying anything bad about either SSA or the acting commissioner, Frank Bisignano, or these Democratic senators. I'm not saying anything bad about them whatsoever, but I could see how some people would come together and really question the mentality behind this messaging out of Social Security. What was their true intention here? Now, we can't help but also think, well, the midterm elections are only 3 months away from right now as I film this video? Seems crazy to think, but yeah, it's true. Only 3 months and a few days. To be fair, okay? The midterm election. So you would have to think as well, you might be thinking, well, maybe they're using this as, a means to push political messaging. And again, that's kind of what these Democratic lawmakers are concerned about. And is that the fact? Well, depends on how you look at it. It could be argued either direction. And again, that's not for me to decide for you. That's why I like to give you the evidence and just put it all out there, and you can decide all that for yourself. I'd love to hear from you down below. Do you think this is a little bit shady on their part, or do you feel like this is just being blown way out of proportion and that these lawmakers should find something else to complain about, right? So anyway, I'd love to hear from you down below. If you want to share, if you don't want to, that's totally fine as well. Doesn't matter. I just want to bring you the details here. There's always drama that's going on, and I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Again, as always, please consider